Greetings, everyone. My name is Erin Johans, and I'm the Love Your Block AmeriCorps Vista. With me is Sam Wells, our Neighborhood Stabilization Coordinator, and Deborah Marcus, the Love Your Block Fellow. For today's webinar, we'll be going over the Love Your Block program. We'll be explaining more behind the program and also walking you through our Love Your Block MiniGrant application. So let's get started. Some brief background. The Love Your Block program was started back in 2009. It is a grant through Cities of Service and John Hopkins University. It's been implemented in nearly 50 cities around the nation, from Phoenix, Arizona to El Paso, Texas, Birmingham, Alabama, and we're very excited to have it here in Albany. Since its start, more than 9,000 community members across the US have removed approximately 5.6 million pounds of trash, have created around 900 art displays, cleaned approximately 60,000 square feet of graffiti, and maintained or repaired over 730,000 square feet of community and public spaces. The general mission and goals of Love Your Block, regardless of city, are to remediate blight, beautify public spaces, create stronger connections between neighbors, empower citizens to take an active role in positive change, and build trust between the local government and community members, and to reduce crime. Here in Albany, the Love Your Block is a 2-year program. The first year is 2022 and the second year is 2023. That is a $20,000 grant per year, with $20,000 for 2022 and another $20,000 again in 2023, but we do hope to continue to expand the program beyond those years. As a part of the $20,000 grant, we'll be implementing MiniGrants between $500 and $1,500 to our priority neighborhoods of Arbor Hill, West Hill, North Albany, Sheridan Hollow, and the South End. These neighborhoods have been historically redlined and currently experience blight. However, because we understand that the effects of blight do not stay contained within these specific neighborhood boundaries, we are also opening up our MiniGrants to include Beverwick, Mount Hope, along Delaware and 2nd Ave, Park South, and Pine Hills neighborhoods. Our primary partners in Albany for the MiniGrants program will be the North Atlantic States Regional Council of Carpenters and Cornell Cooperative Extension's Healthy Homes and Master Gardener program. And our project will be implemented from June of this year through the end of September. During these projects, which will encompass a wide variety of different city services and will include neighborhood-wide cleanups, minor front facade repairs for homeowners, tree and flower plantings, container gardens for those homeowners and additional neighbors on the block, vacant lot activation, which can include anything from a pop-up park to a community garden or any other ideas, murals, and featuring here is a mural in Albany by artist Teresa Boogie, other community inputs that are brought to the table, and Department of General Services city services, which include pothole and sidewalk repairs, trimming trees and pruning overgrowth, graffiti removal and hopefully replacing it with a beautiful mural, additional recycling bins, and providing educational information. Not all of these services may be included on the same block, but all of them are available through the MiniGrant. And with our MiniGrants program, we recently opened it on April 21st, and it will remain open until midnight on Monday, March 23rd. Our application is available online at www.albanyny.gov/2024/Love Your Block. You can also pick up paper copies at either Howe, Washington, or Arbor Hill/West Hill public libraries, or we also have them available at Honest Wheat Food Co-op, Capital District Cultural Latinos Empowerment, and where our office is located, the Albany Community Development Agency, or ACDA. Applicants are available in English, Spanish, Arabic, and Burmese. We want to make sure that our applicant is available to apply in either of these languages, regardless of whether or not they are an English speaker, because this is Albany for all. The translated copies are available at Howe, Washington, and Arbor Hill/West Hill libraries. And if anyone who has a detailed question but is not a language speaker, they can also utilize our language line for translation, And this webinar is also included with subtitles for those who are hard of hearing. If anyone has a more detailed question or would like assistance with our MiniGrant application, we are also offering open office hours with myself, the AmeriCorps Vista, or Deborah Marcus, our Love Your Block Fellow. We are making different times available Monday through Saturday throughout the week. That is Monday from 5 to 6 p.m., Tuesdays from 7 to 8, Wednesdays from 4 to 5 p.m., Thursdays from 3 to 4, Fridays 2 to 3, or Saturdays from 12 to 1. If neither of these times work with your schedule, you can feel free to reach out to us by either phone or email, and we would be more than happy to coordinate and schedule a time that works best. We can meet you either in person, again, at either Howe, Washington, or Arbor Hill/West Hill Public Library in one of their community rooms, in our office at ACDA, or remotely over Zoom. And again, if anyone has any other detailed questions, please feel free to reach out to the Love Your Block Fellow Deborah Marcus at tmarcus@albanyny.gov or 518-434-3026, or to myself, Erin Johans, that is EJOHANNS @albanyny.gov or 518-434-5281, or to Sam Wells, the Neighborhood Stabilization Coordinator and Love Your Block City Lead. That's swells@albanyny.gov or 518-694-4813. And in our next section, we will be walking through our official Love Your Block MiniGrant application. Again, our contact information is available at the top of the page if anyone would like to reach out to us. And again, our applications are open from April 21st through May 23rd. Any applications submitted on May 24th or later will not be considered and are strongly encouraged to apply again in the spring of 2023. So who can apply for the Love Your Block MiniGrant application? That is any individual community member, community group, nonprofit, or collection of neighbors. However, your application will not be considered if you are applying as a for-profit business, if the organization's goals or projects conflict with the mission of Love Your Block, if the allocation for the MiniGrant funding is going to be used to or for religious purposes, and if you are unable to meet our MiniGrant qualifications. As a part of our MiniGrant qualifications, your project and organization must be within the city limits of Albany and must take place within our priority neighborhoods of Arbor Hill, West Hill, North Albany, Sheridan Hollow, and South End, including Beverwick, Park South, along Delaware and 2nd Ave, and Pine Hills. We will be prioritizing West Hill, Arbor Hill, North Albany, Sheridan Hollow, and the South End as neighborhoods that are previously redlined and most affected by blight. Projects must also have a clear and measurable goal and cost between $500 and $1,500. Any project exceeding this cost may be supplemented by outside funds, but the Love Your Block program is not intended to subsidize larger projects. The submitted project with significantly larger budgets may not be prioritized. And all projects must be completed no later than September 15th, 2022, with projects metrics and success submitted by September 30th. All project organizers must be willing to work with the Love Your Block team from start to finish and must be willing to coordinate with our team on the recruitment and management of all volunteers. Those organizers will also outline budgeted expenses and report how the budget is spent at the end of the project. And depending on availability, applicants may be requested to reduce the scope of services. The ideal project for this award should aim to increase collaboration between community members, nonprofits, and local and county government, and remediate blight by one or more of the following: assisting in minor front porch and stoop repairs for homeowners, transforming vacant lots, beautifying or adding greenery to outdoor spaces, minimizing overgrowth and litter, and preventing or remediating code violations, and distributing financial, educational, and material resources to underserved communities. So let's get started filling out the MiniGrant. Now, I know this might seem a bit daunting. It is 11 pages, however, we want to make sure that we have all of our bases covered, and these sections are separated by relevance. So Section 1A, the first section, we ask that you choose one person to be the main point of contact, and that person will be who we reach out to provide updates on their application status and to let them know if they've received the MiniGrant award. We ask that, again, your project take place in the neighborhood and include one or more methods of contact. In section 1B, the association, group, or organization, if applicable, please list the group or nonprofit or organization that you are representing. And if you are applying as an individual or collection of neighbors, you can either list the neighborhood you're representing or to leave it blank. Again, the information that you provide is the best email address, phone number, and mailing address can either be the specific point person's personal information, or they can be through the association, group, or organization. In section 2, the general project information, we ask that you give your project a title. If you are unable to think of one at this point, we ask that you do your best to describe the project, and again, list the project's location and address, so that would be the block and nearest cross-section, street, or intersection that the project would take place on, and the total grant amount that you are requesting. In section 3, we would like you to briefly explain the need or problem that you wish to address. So again, please tell us in approximately 250 words or less what the main problem is, and make sure to explain why this issue is important to the point person filling out the application, but also to the community it will take place in. And in section 4, city services, the City of Albany will be supplementing the existing Love Your Block programming by providing additional city services at work parties. The provision of city services is dependent on the Love Your Block project size, city staff, and resource availability. We cannot guarantee that all residents' requests will be fulfilled or completed on the same day. The city services will not be provided to individual homeowners, but will be provided to city blocks and neighborhoods block by block, to benefit the greater Albany community. Please select as many city services as you feel are necessary for the project, but again, if all of these services are selected, we cannot guarantee that they will be able to be fulfilled on the same date or that we will be able to meet each individual request. And section 5, front facade repair nominations. You are required to nominate at least 3 homeowner residents who are in need of minor front facade repairs in addition to your project's goals. This section is required by our grantor cities of service in order to complete and fulfill the Love Your Block MiniGrants. Again, we are looking to make repairs to street-facing walls, porches, stoops, or lawns of homes, and the services that are offered but are not limited to new paint, overgrowth trimming, porch skirt replacement and repair, lawn leveling, small crack and hole filling, screen replacement and repair, tree planting, wooden board replacement, bucket gardens or container gardens with herbs, flowers, and veggies, flower plantings, railing replacement, and clearing debris and other garbage. Again, we cannot guarantee that all of the requested services that will be fulfilled, especially if other additional services that are not listed are requested. Applicants can list more than 5 homeowners in need of repairs, and to do so, applicants can provide those extra nominations by attaching additional paper with the nominee's name, address, and signature to the application. A homeowner cannot be nominated without their knowledge or consent. Therefore, the Love Your Block team requires their official signature. And section 6, vacant lot activation. Similar to front facade repairs, you may also nominate up to 3 vacant lots for improvement. Again, a property owner cannot be nominated without their knowledge or consent, and therefore the program requires their official signature. If your project is looking to complete a vacant lot activation that a resident does not own or is owned by the land bank instead, then we will be willing to coordinate with you, but we ask that you still list the vacant lot and services requested on this application. Again, you may ask for additional services outside of the current ones available through Love Your Block, but we cannot guarantee that all will be fulfilled. And your applicant will still be accepted if you don't nominate any vacant lots for applications, but we will not be accepting more than 3 nominations for vacant lots per application. And the general vacant lot services offered include grass seeding, laying down mulch, lawn leveling, creating pathways, tree planting, trimming overgrowth, flower planting, and lead testing, although the cost will not be covered by the grant. And again, any other additional services that you would like listed for the vacant lots, such as putting in park benches, may also be listed, and we will coordinate with you to best meet your needs. In sections 7 and 8, detailed project description, in approximately 250 words or less, we ask that you please explain how you will plan to put your project into action. This means listing the specific steps it will take to see your project completed from start to finish. And answers to this question can be provided in the form of bullet points. Section 8, project timeline. We ask that you break down the steps that you hope to accomplish into each month that you listed in detailed project description, and do your best to estimate when they will occur. We will not hold people accountable to these exact timelines, but require them to coordinate additional Love Your Block projects around each other. And sections 9, 10, and 11 are about volunteers. So in the first section, 9, we believe that all projects will require some amount of volunteer assistance. And based on the information above, how many volunteers do you estimate you will need to complete your project? Section 10 below it, volunteers from the neighborhood. The final number of volunteers required for each project will be determined during the project assessment. However, for the purpose of this application, we ask that you recruit 3 residents from your neighborhood, not including homeowners, who can commit their time to volunteering on your project. And if selected, the Love Your Block team will partner with you in recruiting more volunteers from both inside and outside of your neighborhood. And in section 11, volunteer recruitment, where do you anticipate you will recruit additional volunteers from outside of your neighborhood? Please check all possibilities that could apply. And if you are unsure at this time, the Love Your Block team can assist you with additional volunteer recruitment if your project is selected. So again, we ask that you think about additional places to find volunteers, whether that be schools, churches, community centers, sports clubs or leagues, or recruiting them through flyers, advertisements, or online. If there is an additional source to receive volunteers, please check other and then specify. And in section 12, partner contributions, the Love Your Block team understands that not all projects are completed alone. And we ask that you please list any other groups, clubs, organizations, nonprofits, neighbors, or volunteers that are not directly applying for the mini grant, but will offer their resources, services, or knowledge to help you achieve your goals. Again, answers to this question can be provided in the form of bullet points, and if you do not plan to work with any additional partners, please list this section as NA. If you will be working with other similar groups as partners, please briefly list what resources, services, knowledge, or assistance you plan on receiving from those partners in 250 words or less. In sections 13 and 14, section 13, tracking the project's progress and impact throughout 2022, the Love Your Block team requires that you demonstrate sustainable impact on the neighborhood and block or street that your project will be taking place. That means the pounds of trash that are cleared from a specific area, the number of volunteer residents participating, and or the improved morale of the neighborhood. We ask that you provide a minimum of 2 examples, and that in 500 words or less, you estimate the units that you will use to calculate your impact and the tools that you will use to document and measure your project's impact throughout the year. What that means is tracking the amount of resource distributed to residents before and after, photos of the project sites, and or neighborhood surveys for resident feedback. In section 14, future years and ongoing success, our program understands that many issues surrounding blight cannot be solved immediately and will need persistent and dedicated work over a long period of time. In 400 words or less, please explain whether you would continue your project in future years. And if so, how do you plan to fund that project? Will it be applying for additional grants, fundraising, receiving donations? And if your project can be completed within one season and will not need additional work, then please explain why. And regardless of whether or not your project continues past 2022, the Love Your Block team would also like to ensure that it has a long-term sustainable impact in the community and neighborhood it takes place in. We ask that you list what other potential ideas or actions you propose that could help create a ripple effect to lead to other positive change and maintain the changes you have made already. In section 15, project budget outline, please provide an itemized list of all tools, materials, and resources along with their intended purpose and cost, which will comprise the total of your grant amount requested at the front of the application. Please include any outside sources of funding that are also not covered by the grant, such as fundraising, donations, or your organization's own budget. You should also specify if you require any specific skills of a professional, like a muralist or carpenter, and whether or not this person will be paid or volunteer based. And in the final section, sections 16, applicants are not required but encouraged to include letters of support from residents of the neighborhood that the project will take place. Applicants are allowed to use already nominated homeowners in need of minor repairs to demonstrate additional community support for this project. So thank you so much for listening to this webinar and for taking the time to fill out the Love Your Block application. We are going to begin our application review process on May 23rd. You should expect to hear back from one of the Love Your Block team members within 15 days of the start of our review to let you know whether you are approved or denied. And if any other sections other than vacant lot activation or additional sources of funding of the application are left blank, your application will be considered incomplete and will not be reviewed by our grant committee. If your application is denied, we strongly encourage that you consider applying again in the following spring of 2023. And if requested, one of our team members can provide direct feedback over the phone on how to best improve your application for next year. And all awarded grantees are required to have a meeting with at least one of our Love Your Block staff to discuss potential permits and plans for events and projects completion. And all projects must be planned by the midpoint of the grant on June 30th, 2022, and completed no later than September 15th, 2022. If by July 14th, your organization has, for whatever reason, not made significant progress in utilizing the grant and securing a date for your project, the excess funding will be returned to our program to be distributed amongst other awarded grantees for projects that are lacking funding. And due to state and local procurement and purchasing rules and regulations, the City of Albany cannot issue checks directly to applicants, whether that is the point person or organization. And to ensure that low-income residents have access to the Love Your Block program, the city will purchase the materials on the behalf of the applicant to be used for approved Love Your Block programming. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to our webinar. We hope that you will strongly consider applying to our MiniGrant application and look forward to making Albany's neighborhoods a little bit better, one block at a time. Thank you.